I married a guy 32 years older than I am. Reason? Money. We got divorced. I got all his money and became the city's richest person. Just when my luck was starting to turn, I was hit with devastating news. My ex died. Drowned, they said. The cops think I'm the killer. Chapter 1 Dead Ex. I married a guy 32 years older than I am. Reason? Money. We got divorced. I got all his money and became the city's richest person. Just when my luck was starting to turn, I was hit with devastating news. My ex died. Drowned, they said. The cops think I'm the killer. Ms. Tillman? This is Greg Weeks from the police station. Is Clarence Antonio your husband? I massaged my throbbing head. The hangover was hitting me hard. We're divorced. At 1:10 in the morning of the 12th of June, the year 2024, your ex-husband was found dead on the East Coast. His body was washed ashore. The report was made by a fisherman. Through his data, we found you. We'll need you to come to police station for investigation. I thought this was a scam call, but when I got to ATPD and saw the giant of a corpse, my mind buzzed. That's Clarence? I thought. Greg informed me. Witnesses claim that Clarence had no safety gear on before he went into the deep zone. No signs of murder, so this might be a suicide. You're the last one he contacted before he died. Ms. Tillman, did he behave any differently when you talked? A younger officer, Caleb Zimmers, gave me a glass of water. I drained it all, but my throat still felt parched. I shook my head, dazed. No. Clarence saw the sensual scene during our video call the night before, yet he looked at me gently. It was as if nothing in this world could anger him. Greg said the victim's friend claimed that his divorce was made official 3 days ago, and he went missing right after that call with you. The last time someone saw him was before his venture into the deep zone. I clenched the paper cup, and it scrunched up. You think I killed him? Security footage and statements from our witness preclude murder. However, it does not exclude abetting. What did you and Clarence talk about during the call? Abetting? You think a 52-year-old businessman, and a successful one at that, would take his own life just because a college girl told him to? Greg looked at me sternly. Everyone Clarence talked to before his death will be interrogated. This is how it is. Please work with us here. We didn't even talk that much. Caleb played security footage showing a bunch of fashionable men coming into my manor, and a man in black was leading them. Ms. Tillman, the security camera around your street shows 25 men going to your house that night, barring the staff, of course. I forced a smile. They're my friends. We were having a party. Caleb frowned. A party with 25 well-built men? Anyone would think you'd be scared. Ms. Tillman, I huffed impatiently and said, Clarence and I are divorced. I can sleep with 25 men at once, and it's still nobody's business, let alone a party. Caleb shut up, choking on his own words. Greg continued, the victim's friend claims that you and Clarence got divorced 3 days ago. Clarence did not take a single cent with him. He gave you all his estates, shares, and savings. Is that correct? Yes. Clarence was a famous businessman in Ashington. You played no part in Antonio Corporation's operations. This is very different from usual divorce settlements. Chapter 2 In the past. More suspiciously, Antonio died within 3 days after the proceedings were final. I will need you to explain the circumstances around your divorce and its settlement. Ms. Tillman. Caleb flipped the file to the page he wanted. When they first got their hands on the report, Caleb's colleagues suspected that Jessica Tillman might have put a spell on Clarence somehow. Clarence was a billionaire, yet he did not sign any prenups before the marriage. He gave everything to his ex-wife during the settlement. He must be mad, they said. I kept quiet, but I was clenching my dress tightly. Greg looked at me a little fiercely. We'll need you to work with us here, Ms. Tillman. I was shivering, but I said loudly, because he cheated on me. The cheater gives the betrayed everything they have. That was the condition, and he said yes. Do you have a problem with that? Caleb quickly went through the report. The news outlets would have had a field day with the financial entanglement of the scale. Greg looked at his colleagues, but they shook their heads. Ashington's courthouse did not receive any divorce requests lately. You did it out of court? I looked away. We got an attorney for it. Greg fell silent for a moment. Clarence said yes. You said? He asked. I rolled my eyes. Who do you think signed the papers? The officers had nothing to say to that. I did not blame their incredulity. I did want Clarence's money, but I wasn't expecting him to give me everything he had. I suspected that this was just a part of his wealth. He probably gave everything else, and it must be a huge chunk, to that mistress he had. The interrogation went on for a while, but finally, I was released. Back in the interrogation room, a confused Caleb asked, Greg, do you really think a rich business owner would kill himself just because he saw his ex-wife having a party with 25 supermodels at home? Greg frowned. I don't think so, but that's what happened, or so we think. No matter. When we get the content of the call, we'll know what Ms. Tillman told Clarence. I got back home and strode to my bedroom, then I rummaged through my cabinet for my wedding photo. The glass cut my finger, and drops of blood fell on Clarence's wilting face. I tried to wipe the blood off, but my wound got worse. In the end, the blood got smeared everywhere. For some reason, I saw Clarence through the veil of my blood, but it was the state of his body, bloated and grotesque. I scrambled backward. It was almost as if I didn't know the man in the photo anymore. His graying hair was blotted out, but there were wrinkles on his smiling face. He didn't look like this when I first met him. Clarence went to the gym regularly. He was sharp, his muscles were taut, and he would dye his hair black all the time. If it weren't for the wrinkles on the corner of his eyes and the storied look in his gaze, people would think he was in his 30s. I was 18 when we first met, and I worked at a bar on the beach. Clarence's friends escorted him into the bar. I saw saw the watch he was wearing. It was a Rolex, and that thing cost a house. All the ladies had their eyes on him like he was prey, but I was faster. I sashayed over to him and served him bottles of expensive liquor. Younger men were always stingy with their money, but older men were the opposite. Although I hadn't worked here long enough, I knew I could get enough commission from the liquor sale alone to last me a month. I sat closely with Clarence and bent over a little, revealing my cleavage to him. Fancy a glass, sir? A frown creased Clarence's forehead, and the look in his eyes went dark. Chapter 3 Contract. I caught that look, and for a brief moment, I was frightened enough to quit my job right there and then. His friends chased me off, but then a husky voice asked me, "What's your name?" "Jessica Tillman."